Прыжок с помощью двигателя ВОЛ завершен. Нарушена целостность корпуса. Вероятность выживания станции составляет 7%. Требуется ремонт. Стабилизация целостности корпуса. Вероятность выживания станции теперь составляет 9%. Запасы истощены. Предложите запуск зонда для поиска ресурсов. Развернуты добывающие корабли. Требуется внимание. Зафиксирован сигнал бедствия от экипажа Tiqqun. Энергопотребление достигает критического уровня. Необходимо вмешательство администратора. Предложенная траектория проходит через магнитную бурю. Внимание! Вероятность выживания станции составляет 15%. Снижение. 14. 12. 7.
Меня зовут Джереми, я технический директор Bulwark Studios. Создавать игры мы начали 8 лет назад. Мы разрабатываем игры для ПК и консольные игры. И сейчас работаем над IXION. Я Ману, креативный директор, занимаюсь дизайном игр в Bulwark Studios. Что такое IXION? IXION — это видеоигра на выживание с элементами градостроительства, действие которой происходит в космосе. В IXION игрок управляет космической станцией, вдохновленной исследованиями НАСА в 70-х годах. Наша станция выглядит как большой пончик, создающий искусственную гравитацию. В игре игрокам предстоит взять под контроль то, что осталось от человечества после катаклизма, уничтожившего жизнь на Земле. Что вдохновило IXION? Мы работаем над IXION уже 1,5 года. Начинали мы с обсуждения идеи в баре поздно вечером. Что если мы сделаем игру о космосе, космических путешествиях и о том, что человечество может сделать, чтобы выжить? И да, это начало основной идеи IXION. Как IXION интерпретирует жанр строительства городов? IXION и правда сосредоточена на том, чтобы рассказать историю в жанре градостроительного конструктора. Игроки будут строить и собирать космическую станцию, которая будет удовлетворять потребности ее экипажа и продвигаться по сюжету, разделенному на различные главы. Разные способы адаптации к элементам выживания и вызовам, с которыми игроки столкнутся в ходе кампании, приведут к различным возможным концовкам. Мы хотим, чтобы игрок почувствовал, что космос огромен. Хотим, чтобы игрок растворился в истории. Что вы ждете от игроков в IXION? В IXION есть сильные образы группы выживших, живущих на большой металлической станции. В космическом пространстве. И в воображении возникает картина людей, выращивающих урожай. И все это на фоне звезд. Это действительно один из ключевых элементов. Создание уникального настроения, в которое IXION погрузит игроков. С какими проблемами могут столкнуться игроки? Игрокам придется кормить горожан, находить множество ресурсов для строительства сооружений, которые помогут им создавать электричество для преобразования ресурсов. Они столкнутся с событиями повествования. И им нужно будет сделать выбор, чтобы разрешить эти кризисы и принять трудные решения для продолжения истории. Они должны будут следить за целостностью конструкции станции. Иначе она может быть разрушена во время путешествия. Наконец, если игроки не будут уделять внимание нуждам экипажа, у них также будет риск быть отстраненными от управления станцией. Над чем сейчас работает Bulwark в IXION? В данный момент мы вместе с командой художников и гейм-дизайнером сосредоточены на доведении до ума последних систем в игре. То есть на том, как мы работаем с деревом технологий. И, кроме того, мы также уделяем много внимания пользовательскому интерфейсу и ощущениям от игры, и, вероятно, будем делать это до конца разработки.
In the aftermath of the moon explosion caused during their engine launch.
Decisive action from scientists and politicians across the globe.
At Dolos, we have always looked to the stars, taking a fascination in the hope that can be found in the heavens for humankind. On Earth, we have faced climate crisis, political instability, ecosystem collapse. And we here at DOLOS AEC have acted to overcome these difficulties. Now, we explore a new frontier, space. Through great advances in technology and science, and with the Tiqqun station safely on its maiden voyage, we are pushing the boundaries of civilization as we know it. We are always focused on adaptation, progression, and preserving the future of humanity, no matter the challenge that faces us.
The Earth, our home, she is unique. Held in its bosom are the ingredients of evolution. Beyond raw survival, beyond the safety of comfort, we, humanity, pursue something greater. We have learnt, persevered, shaped our knowledge from that which is found in the furthest realms of science. However, humanity has brought destruction to the earth, polluted its blood, choked its breath. Today we are paying the price for this. We know the taste of a dying world. But the earth is not to be our grave. A mother does not wish to see her children disappear with her. She wishes to see instead courage in her children, to carry on. Dolos carries this courage. We have gone further than any nation, moved faster than any corporation, hand in hand with those who, like us, carry that courage. The Tiqqun station is both an epilogue of these endeavors and a prologue to humanity's next steps. Our Council of Scientists leads the vanguard. They know, as do we all, that the survival of humanity now depends on what we glimpse out there in the dark. That we are masters of our own destiny. That we must go as a species bound together, pushing further into the unknown. We set sail on this new sea because there is hope to be found, horizons to explore, and because our very existence depends on it. I give you the stars. I give you the Vol engine.
Vol engine ready.
Administrator, welcome back to your DOLOS AEC Authorized training. While on mission, you will be accompanied by your very own digital personal assistant, Eden. Through your collaboration...
Administrator. Administrator.
Full jump complete. Hull integrity
So the idea of IXION, how did it start for Bulwark?
Okay, so I remember pretty well the moment when it happened. We just ended to work on Mechanicus, and then we went to the bar to celebrate it, classic, and we start to pitch stuff like it was in the first place. It was a mix between a management game and FTL, like having a ship when you can build much more things into it, and then you have there is at some point some kind of jump between galaxies and stuff like that. And today it's quite different, but there is still some kind
the original idea.
Yeah, the DNA is still there.
So was it those pieces of art that you saw first, and that's what really sort of attracted you to space, or was like you just wanted to do some more space games after having worked on Mechanicus?
There was one thing I personally wanted, is to not do a war game post Mechanicus, because to spend 1 year and a half designing weapons, killing, etc. And wanted to do something very different to just relax.
Yeah.
Finally, it was pretty.
I'm not sure you describe IXION as a relaxing game. Maybe.
It's
moments.
You have moments of contemplation, I think.
Yeah. Obviously, Julian, you worked on animation, mainly with Mechanicus. And how did you start to work on the narrative with IXION? Was that part of the pitch process with design, or did you just come to the table and say, I've got a great idea and I want to explore it? Or
when we start to work on it, I went to Manu and Jeremy, and I said, did you have someone to write this game? And they said no, and I can do that, I think. The thing with IXION, it wasn't a purpose to came with, I have an idea, I'm going to do that. For me, in video game, you have to be the main discipline is game design, and it was really important to think that first of all we need to look at our constraint, look at what we want to do, and then create a story who can adapt to this. And the good thing about constraint, it's much more easier and creative to create with constraints than be totally free. We understand really early that we wanted some kind of egocentric billionaire ruling stuff. We wanted to play with madness, with strangeness, with all the stuff we liked. And
we like madness.
Madness, a little bit. A little bit of madness. I don't think there is no creative process without references. In my opinion, when you create stuff, when you imaginating stuff, you are always mixing your references. You are always creating from something. For example, the Tiqqun is based on two things: Jewish words talking about fixing the world or social justice, and also a Manly, a French revolutionary magazine from the 2000 years. The Marduk Council is something it came from the Babylonian society, and the whole story is about a civilization on the glimpse of the collapse. The nicest trick was the name of the game, because we spent so much time to find how are we gonna name it, and then the producers came with IXION, and it was like perfectly in the tone, like it came from the Greek mythology. It's about these guys stuck into a wheel in fire and threw into space, and we're like, okay,
very accurate.
Actually, this is perfectly
good.
It fit perfectly. AI or digital beings, it's something in science fiction. Everything has been done, and so the thing was much more about choosing something with a meaning in the story of IXION, much more that reinventing the wheel. We came with this thing that PA, our personal assistant, they are designed after the people they need to serve. And so basically the DOLOS, when you start working with them and you need a personal assistant, you do some kind of psychological test, you have some electrodes on your head, and they scan you, and they understand the way you work, and they recreate a digital version of you with some constraint in terms of free thinking, free will, etc. And they use this. They complete this version and they use it to create your personal assistant. It's always fun to create a character like Eden. Obviously, GLaDOS was a huge influence. Al 9000 in 2001 Space Odyssey also. So there is so many great digital characters already being created.
I mean, she'll be effectively your companion, through all the chapters, and there'll be very few other people talking to you. But I think we can say that there'll be a few other AIs that you'll come across.
It's possible.
It's possible. You can play IXION, a number of different ways, from just playing it from like a purely city builder perspective to really engaging with the narrative. I don't think the narrative is a case of that it spoon feeds you every single part of the story. I think there's a lot left to interpretation, even around the moon explosion. There's a story there, and there are facts, and there is a process, but there are elements of that part of the story and later parts of the story that we can't spoil, that will be left to player interpretation. And I think it'll be really exciting to see the community reaction to it. I mean, already, I think whether it's in the Discord or on Twitter, we see a lot of discussion and interpretation around the theories, and it's really fun to sort of see some of those, because some of them are close and some of them are pretty wild. But I think that'd be really fun to see their reaction.
We've got so many ideas that we couldn't bring to the game. And our hopes are for the game to be successful enough so we can ensure a life cycle that will allow us to bring all that stuff, because we've got very cool ideas.
For me, I think it's it's much more personal, but I will be really happy if people trying to understand and find the hidden stuff into the world that we created. With the demo, I wasn't disappointed by the community. They dig, but there are still little stuff they didn't find. I think it's complicated to understand them, but there are still little stuff. And for me, I know the story of the game. I know what I've written and what it's not written, and I didn't want people to have the same conclusion as I have, because I feel like a story is great when people can make the story theirs. In my opinion, many great licenses are better when fans are making theories instead of the official ones. And that's something I will be happy to see on IXION, and I'm already happy to see that on the demo, and cheers to the community.